Got one more quarterback to discuss, Matt. I know a lot of people are big on the top 4 who we just discussed, but we're going to throw in a 5th today who I think could be a sleeper to come into it as a potential first-round pick, and it's going to be Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee, the Tennessee quarterback, going into it with some age concerns potentially that some teams are monitoring going into it as well with some other issues with, torn ACL later in the season he's going to be rehabbing from. It's going to be available once we get closer to the start of the season and into OTAs. But Hendon Hooker, I like what I saw about him. Watching his tape and, doing the deep dive on him, and I'm leaning more towards the idea, Daniel Jeremiah had him mocked into the first round in his last mock draft. I think a team could sneak in here and maybe, take a swing at Hendon Hooker despite those 2 big concerns in the back end of the first round.
I mean, I see no reason why he wouldn't be able to. I mean, after Hendon Hooker, I think there is a big drop-off in quarterbacks. We
Yeah.
know that there's a big drop-off between the top 2 to the 3rd, and then 3rd to 4th, and then a big drop from 4th to now Hendon Hooker. But once you get past those top 4, any team that wants a QB in this draft, you're going to want Hendon Hooker. There is no reason why he can't go into the first round because teams are going to have to get him early. They're going to have to reach on him if they want that guy. And I mean, he's thrown 5 interceptions over the past 2 seasons and almost 60 touchdowns. He is able to keep the ball with his team. He doesn't struggle with turnovers. He's a great pocket passer. He's got good athleticism. I mean, he's got everything that you want in an NFL quarterback. I mean, obviously the age is something that people talk about. The NFL team owners, they drafted Brandon Weeden at 28 years old. So, it doesn't really matter at this point. He's 25. I think obviously we had the injury, but people have come off from that before. He'll be fine. I mean, I don't think there's any reason why he can't slip into the late part of the first round.
And I mean, personally to me, I'd like him better than Will Levis. And I think he offers a lot of the same things that Will Levis offers and maybe even more. He has the same, big frame, same big arm, and in my opinion, he has the best velocity in this year's draft. I mean, the guy absolutely rips passes. They are absolute rockets coming out of his hands, and we're going to see. I mean, there are times the people in, the elite. We have Cedric Tillman. You have Jalen Hyatt, who are going to get drafted pretty high in this year's draft that we'll hit on later when we do our wide receivers. There's passes Hendon Hooker through that even those 2 guys couldn't hold on to this year. And Tennessee, I mean, absolute rips balls at people. And I like, the big, again, you talked about it, the dual threat ability that even he has, that I think he has at a more, stronger level than Will Levis does. And we're going to see how that holds up now post ACL with him, coming back from that injury. But, good mobility before his injury, good anticipatory throws like C.J. Stroud had. Just has 2 big concerns holding him up. But I think a team who, Daniel Jeremiah, he had the Minnesota Vikings. I think the L.A. Rams, in the second round potentially can go after him. A lot of teams, I think, could really like what Hendon Hooker could potentially bring to their team.
I mean, there's no question. You're looking at there's no question I think he's going early second round. I think teams are going to snag him if he ends up slipping into there. But I mean, talking about first round, if those top 4 guys go in the top 10, you're looking at the Buccaneers, you're looking at the Colts or Ravens or, whoever is in that spot there. You're looking at the Tennessee Titans. You're looking at someone that could possibly trade up into the first round, someone that trades down from where they are currently. I mean, there are a lot of QB-needy teams, and some people think the 25-year-old could be a positive. I mean, he's more mature than a lot of the other quarterbacks that are in this class. He's going to have a lot more experience. He plays very quality defenses in Alabama and Georgia. I mean, there is no reason why people should be overlooking him, and I think he's going to be gone by pick probably 40.
Yeah, I mean, he played in a tough, SEC conference as well, and had this team, and had his offense in Tennessee up to the top level in college football, being the number 1 team in college football this year, and, bringing it back in, with the age, thing that you talked about, being more experienced, and you talked about, the 2 good defenses as well. that he faced against Alabama and Georgia, and that's actually a good segue of what we're going to try to bring up here now. And again, these two receivers are great. I mean, Hyatt, Cedric Tillman.
Oh yeah.
I'm really happy about these two guys. I mean, Hyatt's a guy I hope my Packers target. I think Tillman is a better receiver than a lot of people are giving him credit for, and could really turn into something once the team signs him on. But the mobility here from Hendon Hooker, some good anticipation. I mean, just these plays that are being shown right now. Watch the ball just rocket out of this dude's hands, and then immediately out on the receiver. And I kind of wish I put some of the incomplete passes on there, where it just smacked right off a wide receiver's hands, went right through the hands, smacked him in the face mask because of how fast these balls were coming out of his hands. But Hendon Hooker is just another one where a lot of people are potentially sleeping on the impact that he could bring to an NFL offense. As a rookie, even if he can get back in time. I mean, this one was just one of the plays of the year, a deep ball that absolutely stunned Alabama. And in Rocky Top as well was just an insane game. One of my favorite ones of the season was Tennessee knocking down Bama. I believe the same game they broke down the goalpost, wasn't it, Matt? Brought the goalpost down into the river. Was an insane game where Hooker really put his talent on display. They're dodging a defender over his head on the right sideline, right to his receiver. Just some of these rocket passes out of his hand. That one is another insane ball that stunned Alabama, another deep play touchdown as well. And there's still some guys. I mean, Darnell Wright on that offensive line also held up really good, and the teams were really liking as another first rounder. So this offense did a really good job producing some elite NFL talent this year. And I think Hooker's one that people need to start keeping their eyes on as we approach the start or get closer to the start of the NFL draft, being a late day one, early day two guy.
No question about it. Hendon Hooker is my QB4 in this class, so there's no question about it. And I think teams definitely have to take a closer look at him as a potential day one pick.